All right, I'm currently on the phone with Tison. He's another musician that reached out about the current interview series. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the chance to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Tison. I'm a musician throughout the Twin Cities and over in the Menominee Eau Claire area of Wisconsin. Kind of travel up and down 94, and yeah, I make music doing used to be classical, then jazz, and now it's pure rock and roll.
Awesome, very cool. All right, so I always like to start, back in the beginning. Tell me about when you first encountered music and what about it kind of spoke to you and made you want to just build a life around it.
My dad is a singer-songwriter and out in where I live currently. Plus, just growing up around a lot of music advocates, my grandma and my mom, who both just let me see the Minnesota Orchestra, or introduced me to people like Fats Waller and different jazz artists that way. My dad's a big Neil Young fan, and he'd play his Steve Miller records on vinyl growing up. So he got me a drum when I was about 7, just a djembe, and since then I've been playing away.
And so if I were to extrapolate that, I would say you're a drummer.
Well, primarily I'm a keyboard player now. In school, I did percussion and drumming, and
Okay.
I do random session work and gigs on the drum set too.
Okay, cool. Do you also do session work, keyboarding then, since you consider that your primary instrument?
That's probably the most work I get is doing keyboards now. I've done bass and guitar as well.
Okay,
So
so,
just
all
the whole thing.
right, a little bit of a tangent there. Okay, so once you decided you were gonna, continue to pursue music through school and everything, did you pursue like any sort of contemporary rock band type situation with any of your peers or anything like that, or was it just like concert band and jazz band type thing?
Uh, by the time in high school, we started a small boy band, but let's not talk about that. And in college, I got involved in the jazz ensemble, and a few of the players and we started a jazz combo that would play for events at college, and then eventually for different events around St. Paul, Minnesota. And I thought I'd stay with that, but I started doing rock. When I started going to blues jams when COVID hit, I just wanted to see what was going on and in the community and get invested in it, and met a lot of amazing people. And some of them are in my band. I play with a handful of other people that I've met at these jams. So that's really great.
Okay, so tell me about that transition from jazz and then getting into more of the blues circuit and then ultimately landing it in with rock music. What was that transition like? What happened at those events to kind of steer you in that direction?
Jazz for sure wasn't. I wasn't getting a lot of gigs for it. I also just didn't know how to promote myself or where to go. I was a public school educator for 4 years, and so that took up a lot of my time and a lot of my free time. So I couldn't go to those places. So eventually, I kind of just got a little burnt out, and I just quick Google searched blues jams, rock jams in the Twin Cities, and landed on Welsh's Big Ten Tavern. That's a place out in near Mounds View, and that's almost at the same time. A dear drummer friend of mine started going to those too, and so we've been just kind of playing around ever since. So it was kind of a smooth transition. Thankfully, I was prepared because jazz, you kind of have to know a good amount of chords. You have to know a lot of voicings, and you have to be confident with your soloing ability. And that really helped in the blues circuit, where there's not as many chords. I'll just say it that way.
So this might be an obvious question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway, just for the explanation. Out of those jam events, obviously you met somebody that you're comfortable working with. What do you think it is about the way that you each approach music that brought you guys together?
Well, he thinks I'm a good player. I think he's an amazing player, and I really believe success is opportunity plus preparation. He's been playing drums pretty much his whole life, and me playing keyboards most of my life, and drums. So we had something similar to talk about. So just kind of came together naturally that way. I do also know a lot of 70s music, a lot of B-side music. I know about the artists, and that helps when you're talking to some of the older jammers where, they got to see Led Zeppelin like 4 times before, they ever started touring and whatnot. So they have amazing stories. And if you can kind of connect with people that way, I'm all about the real connection where you get to sit down with some of the musicians and get to know more about the world, really. So it's
So, tell me a bit about, coming out of those jam sessions and things like that. What is the kind of vision that you had for a project that you wanted to be a part of?
Well, I've always wanted to have my own group, but I didn't think I was a good songwriter necessarily at the time. I kind of honed that craft, as well as playing some of these great tunes live and getting to kind of experience what it might have felt like to be the artist and the band creating that song. Just kind of get a little bit of a peek into the real experience of being present in that music. Music is a temporal art. You're there, you're present, you're experiencing it. I think that speaks volumes over just listening to something on the radio, so on and so forth. I hope that answers your question.
Sort of. So, like,
say the question again. Sorry.
To be a little bit more definitive, what kind of is the ideal lineup for the type of band that you want? Is it, a couple of guitars, obviously keyboard, drummer? What sort of arrangement are we looking at?
The group I put together is called Venus. We're going to be playing shows here soon. That's a guitarist, a bassist, myself singing and playing keys, and then a drummer. The good drummer friend I was talking about. So that's kind of all you need. I play guitar, but I know I can't solo on guitar. So I figured if it was going to be rock, it's kind of nice to have somebody who can play some sick lines.
So tell me about the process of finding an additional musician to be a part of. Did you just pull somebody out of like the blues jam circuit, or did you do like auditioning? Was it Craigslist? Tell me about that.
I've definitely have met other people through Craigslist and online and auditioning and whatnot, but this was at the Terminal Bar, has a singer-songwriter kind of open mic night on Monday nights, and actually all the members of this group go to that jam, and I'm kind of schmoozed with them, got to meet them. They're really awesome people, and we all just kind of clicked together. So it just worked out nicely that way. Otherwise, I could call in somebody that I know and what have you, but I trust these guys with any song I throw in front of them. They're really good at not necessarily making it up on the fly, but knowing when to play, when not to play, being tasteful with it, and obviously just being great at their instruments. So it's really cool.
Okay. I might have missed this, but did you mention that you're also doing vocals, or did you have a vocalist?
Yeah, I'm also singing more out of necessity than pure desire, but I love singing. So
awesome. So tell me a little bit more about your ambitions for this project. Obviously, you want to write music, you want to get out and play shows. Where do you want this to go? What do you want out of this in 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years. I have not thought that far ahead necessarily. I can't speak for everybody else in the group, but I know for my original music, it would be great to start getting on the scene and being known as a original artist, an original band, and what have you. So that's kind of ultimately the goal of anything, is just to kind of get out there. I love the scene up in Duluth area. I like the Minneapolis, especially, and Minneapolis-St. Paul scene for original music, and kind of linking in there and getting to know all the other players. See where it goes from there, for sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, so, throughout learning, your instrument and being involved in music, the jam sessions and everything, what are some of your most prominent memories that stand out to you and keep you motivated?
Um, yeah, well, I would say I'd probably be less than half the musician I am without the great teachers along the way. Um, my middle school and high school teachers were both not strict, but dedicated, to making sure that I knew what I was doing. Got to be section leader in high school and through college doing percussion. And so that was an awesome opportunity to kind of um, host a community and kind of build the community that we had there going on in the orchestra and band. And so that really stood out. As far as playing, I got to compose a piece in college, an arrangement of Lush Life by Billy Strayhorn for jazz ensemble. That was a really cool experience. Kind of helped me understand the bigger workings of music. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of live shows that I've gotten to do recently. I'm in a Leonard Skinnerd and Southern rock cover band called Southern Express, and we did. We always end with Freebird, and that's because you have to. It's a Leonard Skinner band, and
Sure.
yeah. So we ended with Freebird, and recently we did it for I don't know what it was, maybe a Niswa barbecue gig. It was great. We had everybody that was out there come up to the stage, and we just rocked it out. And just the live pure energy that everyone was feeling. It was really positive. It was really a beautiful moment. So made me fall in love with being on the stage that much more.
Awesome. Very cool. Good stories. All right. Well, where can people find your project and check you out and, follow you?
You can definitely just look up my name. I'm not much of a social media dude. I would definitely hire that out once I have the money to do that. So great Tison. You look me up on Facebook for sure. I'm still on that one. But otherwise, we are going to be playing a show at Shaw's Bar and Grill. That's in Minneapolis here on October 7th. Come check us out live. That's all I've got.
All right. Sounds good. So I always like to give the person I'm interviewing the opportunity to put out their last word. So what's a message that, you think people should hear?
Yeah, well, I still agree with the one you said earlier. Don't be a dick. That's a good one for sure. Your people person skills are almost everything when it comes to the image of yourself that you put out there. But I would say what's more important is even all just getting out there. There are hundreds. There's got to be hundreds of jams going on in every major city. It's always worth stopping in. Make a fool of yourself the first few times and learn from it. Whatever song it was that you bombed on, practice it at home, come back and be ready to play it the next time. And most people, they're giving, they'll give you another chance at it and you can show your improvement, and that speaks volumes. So I'd say for anybody interested in getting out there, start with a jam if you haven't.